Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the September 9th, 2025 planning board meeting. So,
That's signing on it.
okay, give one moment, please. And since we're doing this hybrid, we have one member online. We're going to be doing a roll call vote.
And then I do know Abby said she's going to be like 10 to 15 minutes late.
Okay. Andrew? Here. Sue?
Here.
Alan?
Here.
Pat?
Here.
And Greg?
Here.
And myself, Rob Almeida, here. So first item on the agenda is public comment. Public comment will be limited to 15 minutes with no more than 3 minutes allocated to any one speaker. Public comment is limited to the items that are not on the agenda. No one is in the room besides the members and town planner. Anyone online? Is there anyone? So we'll be moving on to item 2, the Envision Concord action items update discussion. And I'll start off to Elizabeth to bring up the
Great.
spreadsheet.
So what I had shared with the board is last year's action item matrix. And then I started updating it with what I know. Unfortunately, I did not get through the whole thing to the point where I could send it to everybody, so my apologies. I'm gonna have to go through this on the fly. Is that somebody? Pat, did you have a comment or?
No, I was trying to find my matrix.
Okay. Anyway. So if everybody, the Envision Concord action item matrix is goes through, it lists the big ideas, it lists goals, it lists the action items for each of those goals. The actual matrix in the back of the document also has a column of which implementing department or board or committee is involved. For Pat, Alan, and Greg, the planning board, starting the year after the plan came out, and every year since, went through, took that matrix, and pulled out all the ones that were related to planning boards, with assistance from planning division, and have been going through every year and updating each of those action items. So I believe, and I always like to give kudos to the board. You are the only board that does that every year, so it's wonderful. From a planner's perspective, this plan does not sit on a shelf. So starting with the first item in yellow, and it was just updating it from last year. The historic preservation plan was being developed, so now it is being finalized. It will be done by the end of this year, so we're pretty sure that with that plan there's going to be action items over the next year or two, and even in the future, that the planning board will partner with the historical commission or the HDC on. And so that's updated in that yellow column. So the next two items, the board determined those are really in the purview of the HDC. Oh, maybe can I make this bigger for everyone? Is that better?
It's fine. What is our goal for tonight? Is it to absolutely finish this or, to get it into draft form?
No, it would be to get it, into draft form and then everybody
Okay.
can look at it.
All right, great then.
Yeah.
Okay, is that better? Okay, so I'm gonna keep going. And. the
I'm
site
sorry,
plan-
Elizabeth, my computer isn't very fast here, but I cannot see column A. Is that intentional or?
Yes, I can't get it all on the same screen. So
Okay,
it's only this last column under timing that is
Okay.
just being updated.
okay,
So that's why I sent, last year's matrix to everybody. So again, the first column is just the big ideas. So it really is
that's fine.
the action column and the timing column.
Okay,
And so just for really for Greg, Alan, and maybe even Rob. The planning board did have a conversation about neighborhood conservation districts, and there's very specific requirements involving those. And they really need to be a grassroots neighborhood started item. It is not something that the planning board, because there has to be a certain percentage of all of the property owners who sign on. So the planning board did have that conversation. So that's why you see it in here, if the historical commission or the HDC were approached by a neighborhood and the whole entire neighborhood was on board. And then, came to the planning board, then yes, definitely the planning board would, be a partner in that. But the planning board itself could not take on.
That's like a non-anthem situation,
Um,
everyone from
Yeah, if everybody in Canantum
Canantum, yeah.
got together and said, we want to form a neighborhood conservation district, it's kind of similar to a historic district, but it's
Mhm.
self-governing. So they, elect a board, and sometimes it works great, and then in other times it causes issues, so, and this next yellow one in progress, currently the board does not have development of site plan rules and regs for this coming year. So I struck that. So I don't know if that's something that you want to push out for future years.
Yeah, I wondered that you deleted it. Did you delete it on grounds that we won't be doing that in the foreseeable future, or did?
Well, it's
Or should it
not
be-
it's not in progress. So right now, what is in progress is your, updating your,
The
looking
subdivision
at,
rules?
looking at
No.
different things in the zoning bylaw, like the mixed use bylaw or the
Right.
updated
So this
subdivision.
is, this is also, sorry, this is also in progress for the purpose of supporting green neighborhood zoning and cluster development.
Yes.
Right.
Right, of course you deleted it from in progress, but I wondered whether it should be deleted completely or whether we push it in under some other heading of, 1 to 2 years or 3 to 5 years,
Yeah.
if we're planning on undertaking it.
I think it's a good plan to undertake. I would not say, in 1 to 2 years, all you'll be doing is NCI Concord.
Yeah, so there
So,
were other things
yeah,
on here that say
like
3 to
3
5.
to-
So I
yeah, 3
wondered
to
if
5.
it should go back in under 3 to 5 or something.
okay, so I will add that. Okay, I will add that.
Mm.
The next one, in progress is, well, I, added
Well,
completed.
Depressingly,
WTA.
it's completed but not completed, and I
Well,
mean, we did complete it in a
we did.
sense.
Complete it, so I can also add, in progress, further updates.
Hmm.
Um. um, I can add, additional updates to. um, To MBTA. Um, And,
Do you wanted to specify, the MBTA is not for mixed use, but for?
well, yeah. but it
That's the
talks
only thing,
about-
because it's both in that question.
Yeah.
Well, but it says and appropriately dense
Dense
development, so.
No,
it
that's the
comes in
question.
Under,
No, I understand that,
Yeah.
but it's just the question of, do you
Yeah.
wanna be clear that we're not exploring mixed use MBTA?
Oh,
And
yeah.
only be clear that it's the,
Sure,
yeah. The
MBTA
multifamily
multifamily.
component, yeah,
yeah,
just to keep it,
So a
Separate.
little bit
good thought,
separate.
yeah.
yeah.
and then,
I don't think that next one, 1 to 2 years PB to consider enhancement to et cetera, site plan rules and regs, should that be 3 to 5 years? Because we're not doing site plan rules and regs in the immediate future?
sure. You all know how much I love Excel, right? Okay, next one added, the amendment, that the board sponsored with the EBC. And, I thought that was a good one to highlight. And then I'll change this one to the same.
Are we gonna try again for the parking?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
but that
other,
comes down.
there's
much
other-
That's not here too, in growth and development guidelines, infill development, okay, just,
no, and it was just how I was reading. I was reading that more of like the physical development.
well, but if you have less parking, you could have more development.
Well, no, except the place where we're talking. Well, the way last year's version was written, it could apply to outlying spaces, but it's basically for downtown areas
Sure.
where. There's nothing to infill.
Oh, it's,
That was the whole point.
that's the in-town areas, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. In dash town,
Yes,
not
The next,
not
in
in space.
town.
um. So the board, the update to the housing, HPP is the housing production plan, which that was 2022. And the additional update is that the housing production plan is only certified by the state for 5 years. So a new plan actually needs to be submitted and accepted by the end of 2028. So what will happen is we're going to be submitting a CPA application to fund the next round of updates, which would start next, July 1st is the earliest it could start. Then, there's usually a committee, that's formed to work on updating the housing production plan, then an RFP to hire a housing consultant to work with it. So that's the first 6 months, and then so January of 2027, so you get something, rolling. And so, so in the next year or two, the board will be also working with the housing groups to update the housing production plan. so that it can be adopted. No. By the end of 2027, is that right?
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, so the end of 2027, that's the timing on that one.
That item there that your cursor is over, shouldn't that be marked completed?
Which one?
Another, item 8 in the previous column, consider the implications.
I don't think the select board and FinCom have completed looking at pilots.
Payment.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought that was payment in lieu of affordable units. It's payment in lieu of,
Oh, that is payment in lieu of.
it's not pilot, it's
Yeah.
PILU. And there's this new thing about PILU for the eventually forthcoming Newbury Court expansion, but
Yeah.
Right.
I was thinking of the,
Combined,
what we,
the mixed use.
yeah, the mixed use possibility of payment in lieu. I mean, we created the fund, that we, the town, created the fund to deposit payments in lieu into.
Isn't that a mechanism though, more than
Well, no,
More
the
than a
town,
provision,
the town created the Concord Municipal Affordable Housing Trust,
yeah,
which can accept housing payments.
yeah.
But currently, the planning board has not.
Well, the whole thing's marked another committee anyway.
Can you, I just look at participants.
Although actually, we are considering the
No, I've had-
implications of,
the waiting room is.
as part of mixed use, we are considering that right now for next year's town meeting.
So I'm gonna have to stop sharing. Oh, wait.
Oh.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna disable the waiting room. Okay. Okay. So I can change, I can change this one to be in progress as it relates to, looking at the mixed use.
If you freeze to death,
No, we won the
Right.
thermostat war.
Been settled,
Yes.
out of court.
Okay, I will change that one. So I don't think the board has currently any specific action regarding other zoning practices related to preserving existing smaller homes. Again, we have the neighborhood conservation district tool. Amend the 2-family and additional dwelling unit bylaw. We have, all the previous changes and then adding in progress, updating the ADU bylaw. Oops, sorry. And the next one is updated is, again, there's the, redevelopment of the road depot and mixed use multifamily, redevelopment. So we have in progress, the board looking at, again, the mixed use bylaw, and then we can add MBTA community as far as the multifamily development. I just don't like it.
Don't you like Microsoft Word?
I don't like Excel at all. Okay.
It's the hardest thing to use for paragraphs.
No, it's easier than PowerPoint.
Oh, that's for me.
So the next one, consider zoning amendments or use of the PRD. So what I do need to add here is, the bylaw amendment last year. To the PRD. So I will make that change. And, so to your point, Andrew, this next one where it talks about adopt zoning or other alternative tech unique features of existing village centers. I mean, we could add the amendment this past year as far as the parking. In that location, I mean, I know there's other parking action items or in here, but that's, that was also another,
Was the selling point of it,
reason not to have vacant storefronts. If you don't have any room to add parking.
Mhm.
um, this next one, added, in progress, the amendments to the tree bylaw. And then we'll change rules and regs for site plan to 3 to 5 years, have the completion of the MBTA communities, rules and regs.
Shouldn't it also have lighting in progress?
Wasn't lighting going to be part of the ordinance?
No, we were
No,
talking,
it's
I
separate,
thought,
yeah.
I thought it was separate.
Yeah.
Okay. Could be.
And again, I'll go, back through a little bit, more last year's, goals and items and, this year's, especially, town meeting stuff, see if they fit anywhere else, but, and let's see. And then so for this one, again, is gonna be, MBTA. And to Sue, your previous point, I mean, I can say completed and then add another in
Mhm.
progress for updates.
and it should also have completed ADU, right?
Mhm.
I mean, ADU to match state law.
It was mentioned somewhere else too. but
It was, yeah, but many things are,
Oh,
Yeah.
the updated, yeah.
oh, which means I guess it gets an in progress, updating ADU again for EOA.
Yep.
HLC
Mhm.
something. We ran out of ELAs, we have ETLAs, now it's BETLAs.
Hmm. And then for this, next one. I think you can change this one to, the completed with the change.
PRD, right.
In PRD last year.
The next one gets mixed use thrown in. As in progress. That one gets ADU.
Yep.
And
So a lot, yeah,
also MBTA communities, honestly.
so a lot of these will just be repeating.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
So this next one I updated because, it, it was completed and then I put discontinued. Because we did hire a planner for transportation and then that position got cut. But in progress, the planning division's working with Concord Public Works, the Transportation Advisory Committee, and the consultant on getting the transportation mobility plan moving again and finished. So, the planning board will be involved, in looking at that. So I will update that a little bit more, but that's why that one's changed. And so this one, again, we have the MBTA. In progress. MBTA and EDU. Energy, it's not something that it's on the, action item to currently, the town has done other things, the adoption of the fossil fuel free, which I can just add that in here. It's not necessarily a planning board action item, but I can at least highlight what's been done.
You had the adoption of the stretch code somewhere in here. Which you could copy from wherever else it was.
And then also put in the fossil fuel free.
Right, right.
Yeah, I meant in addition to that.
Okay. And for this one, I think it's probably good to put the in progress, the transportation
Mhm.
and mobility plan.
Would that also include site plan? Some regs as well?
Oh, as 3 to
Yeah, so 3 to 5 year, basically.
Mhm.
Everybody's so quiet.
It's riveting.
I could be louder, but I don't think it would help.
oh, this, yeah, this is where, Sue, thank you. And then I'm gonna put the put in fossil fuel free. So this one I need to update so that it's in progress with the current subdivision. And this one need to update. Because you're doing the tree regs, hopefully for 2026.
Wait a second. I mean, it wasn't a planning board action, but the town adopted a residential lot stormwater bylaw, which is to say, an everybody stormwater.
Oh, up
Bylaw,
here, and the other
yeah.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can add it.
uh, no, stormwater was the previous.
The
Oh,
menu drop.
okay, never mind, yeah. Stupid word.
Okay, yep, I can add that one too. And this one I will change. To the, to in progress, just to state the joint parking amendment for 2025, which did not pass, and then in progress, bringing it forth again.
Well, we did get the consultant to make some recommendations on parking, and we considered
Oh, I think.
other
yes,
things. Should that not be either a 1 to 2 years or a 3 to 5 or something?
So,
to take?
so the next one, would be, looking at updating the transportation demand, the relief from parking requirements. And so I don't, I leave it up to the board whether that's a 1 to 2 or a 3 to 5.
Well, the longer we wait, the more out of date our consultant's report will get, but we are awful. We do have a lot to do.
The challenges are gonna be with tying that in with MCI.
That too, yeah.
So you can start with 1 to 2, and, and then, so maybe it's 2 years. Okay. And, the transportation mobility plan. So, this parking one also needs to be, updated to reflect the, joint parking, 1 to 2 update relief, we also completed for the bylaw amendment regarding the commercial parking.
Well, Oh, yeah, never mind.
Ongoing, the board just always looks at, you know, bike racks and charging stations. And the other next is and I think for Mercy Ag. 2229 Main Street's not, you know, really this board. This one I need to, oops, this one, that one I need to update with the transportation and mobility plan. And then I can complete the roads program and the passage of the 2.5 override. Okay. That's it.
Sweet.
Okay, so I will, take public comment and.
Ms. Savoy?
Carol Savoy, 61 Belknap Street. I'd like to speak about the subdivision tonight about the subdivision on Main Street in West Concord. Many residents have been shocked by what has happened there. The clear cutting of countless mature trees, some 30 to 50 feet high, and the transformation of a wooded neighborhood into what neighbors are calling a barren wasteland. As one resident, Kathy Johnson, wrote in the Concord Bridge, she has never before seen such reckless environmental disregard for a neighborhood. She asked a question that I think we should all be asking. Was she wrong to assume that Concord is environmentally savvy? And if we do have tree ordinances, shouldn't they be strengthened? This outrage is just not about aesthetics. It's about stormwater, climate resiliency, neighborhood character, and Concord's values as a town. And it points directly to where the planning board's energy is most urgently needed. We need to update our subdivision rules and regulations to require low impact development standards that limit mass grading, improve stormwater management, and retain natural buffers. We need to strengthen the tree bylaw so it applies to subdivision level clearing, requires tree inventory, and ensures that a percentage of the canopy is preserved or replaced. And we need to rewrite the earth removal bylaw with clear measurable standards for slope stability, erosion control, noise, and dust, so it protects the community and stands up in court. Other towns like Lexington and Newton have already done this successfully, and Concord can too. These are practical, defensible steps that don't stop housing, but they do prevent the kind of reckless environmental damage we just witnessed. They would show residents that Concord truly is environmentally responsible and that we've learned from what happened in West Concord. I know the board is already working on subdivision rules and regulations and the tree bylaw updates, and that's encouraging. I would ask you also to make a review of the earth removal bylaw a priority, especially with all the new development being potentially planned under the MBTA Communities Act and potential changes at MCI. Taken together, these updates will help Concord grow while still protecting the natural resources and neighborhoods that define this town. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments and we'll see that.
That reminds me, somewhere in here, so the planning board already did update the earth removal bylaw. It's now the earth removal and fill bylaw. So that was done, following, that particular project and, not being successful in land court. So, that has already been done.
Great. What I would suggest is if you could, maybe move the tree bylaw up, updates to this year versus next year. And make the subdivision rules and regs, apply the tree bylaw, so it applies to subdivision level clearing. Right now, it doesn't. So since you're doing the subdivision rules and regs, maybe do the tree bylaw at the same time instead of push it off for a year. Because those are the three things that they came back and said why that project could go forward, right? So if you tighten those up, we won't have the same sort of clear cutting that we had in this particular project. Just as.
Yep, so the update to the tree preservation bylaw requires, a vote of town meeting, so that's what the board is working towards, having a bylaw amendment for spring of 2026. So that's the soonest we can get a bylaw amendment on. I am not sure that any community, whether it's this community or any other community, can enact a general bylaw that covers subdivisions, because subdivisions are under state subdivision control law, and they're specific to the road, the utilities, and the stormwater drainage. So I don't think you can have a general bylaw that supersedes or controls subdivisions under subdivision control. So the project on Main Street, all of the trees that were removed for the development of the lots themselves, not associated with the construction of the road, the utilities, or the stormwater drainage. Every tree on that property greater than 6 inches was inventoried, was reviewed by the town's consulting arborist. And each one of those lots will have a tree preservation bylaw permit and mitigation for every single tree that was removed, not associated with the road, the utilities, or the drainage. So, that's just not an answer or an excuse, just a process.
No, understood. I was just trying to see if we could kind of get ahead of that, considering there's lots of large developments that are gonna, potentially be happening in town, and it would be great. Is there some sort of percentage of canopy preserved or replaced? Is that covered now, or could that be added?
I'm not sure if that can be added to the tree preservation bylaw. I mean, currently the tree preservation bylaw is only governs trees removed within the setbacks, and not trees removed in the middle of the property. And just historically, there was a tree preservation subcommittee of the planning board, and the conversation went back and forth for I think a year and a half between trying to find again that balance between somebody's right as a property owner to be able to develop their property and preservation of trees and canopies. So it was not part of that original conversation. So I don't it may be something that the planning board may want to talk about. But again, it would, that was the original conversation when the tree bylaw was first proposed, was trying to find that balance between somebody's right to be able to do something on their property and preservation. So I don't think again, how that type of general bylaw and subdivision control law. I don't know if there's a way to incorporate something into subdivision rules and regs that deal with percent of tree canopy. That's something that I would have to look into.
Right. I haven't looked at it, but I have heard that Lexington and Newton have something, I don't know if it's under their tree bylaw or subdivision, but something about, the percentage of canopy is preserved or replaced when removed. So might be interesting to take a look at what Lexington and Newton have done. See if there's anything that makes sense for Concord. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that information. Anyone else? Any other comments relating to the action items here? The list, excuse me. That's it.
You had minutes?
Yep.
And that was it?
So are there any comments on the minutes?
No.
Could I get a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes for
May
Okay.
27th.
May 27th as submitted and amended.
Second,
Okay. Will be a roll call vote. Alan,
yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Pat?
Yes.
And myself, a yes. So we did skip one item. We had the planning board liaison and town planner updates.
Town planner updates. I have one update, but it's a secret and I can't tell you. And I'm really sorry, excited. No, just, right now, I mean, the planning division. CPA, applications, the deadline is next Friday, the 19th. Right now, at least in my office. We have an application for the last phase of the Assabet River Bridge. Which will be, so currently the project is, in November, the consultant team will be submitting for the MassDOT's 25% design submission, which actually represents about 50% of the work for permitting, design and engineering, and in permitting, engineering and design. So that'll happen in November. I think MassDOT then has 120 days to review and provide comments. So the timeline is having a 25% design hearing probably in April. In November is also when applications are accepted to program projects in the transportation improvement plan. So because we actually submitted for 25% design and MassDOT's bridge selection engineer has approved our bridge type selection, which finds the project is feasible and can move forward. So I'm hopeful that that will actually get the project programmed into a specific year on the tip, which is, that's the line in the sand that says, yes, funding, when it's ready, will be available for construction. This Monday and then last week, the consultants and their sub-consultants did finish the additional, it was 5 additional borings that MassDOT required. 3 on one side and 2 on the other, so that got completed and the weather was dry and everything was perfect. Because they, got everything done on one side by Friday, and then I guess it was quite a storm down here on Saturday.
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't here. It wasn't as good in Vermont, but it was a good one. They got everything moved, laid down and finished the work on Monday. So. Yeah,
Exciting.
Yeah, it is
And yet
exciting.
boring.
Yes, 100%. That's what we say.
Well,
So, Pat, had any updates or?
Pat, you're good? You have any updates or? No,
That's it.
that's it.
We're great.
Thank you all for attending, both here and online. Have a good evening.
We'll adjourn the meeting.
I'm gonna adjourn the meeting.